Who else is pissed off at their job right now? I just found out that all of our overtime is being taken away because profits are down. Yet all the managers are getting record-breaking bonuses. You just can't win. Right when you think you're getting ahead in life, something like this happens. I just know other bad news is coming. It's just a matter of time. Kind of just speechless right now. Just wanted to get this off my chest.
Absolutely. And you got so many people who are dealing with this exact situation right now as we speak, because so many different companies are doing one, either layoffs, or two, they're cutting hours, or three, they're getting rid of overtime as a whole. And so many companies, and we don't have the context as to what company he's working at. I mean, it seems like he's working for a blue collar, some kind of role like that. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It's happening in so many different industries around the United States, whether you're in tech, you're in healthcare, you're in factory work, you're in construction, it doesn't matter. So many different industries are struggling right now economically, and they're trying to figure out whatever kind of way to boost profitability. And in his situation, it quite literally could be, greed from the company not paying his workers, because at the same time, they're giving massive bonuses to the people at the top, and the people at the bottom had to feed for whatever is left from, the pot. But it's crazy, guys. And in the midst of this, what is happening right now within the job market, you have a mass layoff at a factory over in Florida. And guys, I got to tell you guys, Florida is such an interesting state. I know I talk about Florida a lot. However, we have to talk about it. I think Florida, it's just such an interesting state. And if you guys live in Florida, I mean, let me know in the comment section below, what is the job market like right now within the state? But guys, the company name is Onyx, ONX Incorporated. They're down in Pompano Beach, Florida, and they laid off a total of, looks like 140 people. And there's many layoffs going on right now in just October by itself. But specifically this factory right here, they're a manufacturing company, and they manufacture a lot of semiconductors, right? And I get a lot of my facts from AI, but at the same time, I don't get all of my facts from AI. I love AI because it summarizes and it makes it look very, very nice and concise. However, I did fact check this from many different sources, and as a whole, they laid off, like I said, 140 people, and they said it's because of global reconstruction, right? Restructuring for the company. A lot of the companies, they always say, "Oh, it's because we're doing a efficiency. We're trying to drive efficiency, or whatever the case is," right? But on top of that, they said economic supply, shifting demand in economics, right? Economic uncertainties. And then they did report a lower fourth quarter revenue compared to 2023. So it's many different reasons. Also, I did also see a report from the Business Journal who said layoffs are part of restructuring due to housing market challenges. Now, listen, whatever you want to say, this is just what's going on in the market. I'm not here to point the fingers to tariffs. I'm not here to point the fingers to whatever case. I'm not here to point the fingers. But what I can tell you is the economy is absolutely in shutters, and it sucks to see so many people's lives are being affected by these layoffs because it's happening across the board, no matter which state you are in. And I know I show Florida a lot, right? Florida map. Here's the map, right? Y'all see what percent of people in Florida voted for Trump, right? But I can tell you guys, we all can agree. We all know exactly what these tariffs are doing to companies like this. Tariffs are really destroying a lot of these companies. But like I said, they're not going to come out and say this. They're not going to say, "Oh, we're struggling because of tariffs." But anyways, I got more videos in here you're going to love. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well for more great content like this. Let's get to the rest of the video, guys.
Start saving your money. Start living above your means. It's getting serious out here. Now, it's bad when I see the hospital in my area. They talking about laying off 600 to 700 people. Jobs is not permanent. People not permanent. And, people live with other people or maybe marry and depends on each other's income. Right? They say we need 3 to 6 months of living expenses just in case something happens. And the first thing you should do when you get paid is put a percentage of your check into a savings account.
Now, to give more context, I don't know which state she lives in, but there is a hospital up in Philadelphia that's laying off 650 workers, healthcare workers, right? But I don't know specifically where she's from. I just know there is. I'm just making an assumption within the number range that she's saying. But yes, she's absolutely correct, right? Get yourself ready. Prepare yourself financially. You don't want to be blindsided by these layoffs, right? You don't want to get a layoff notice one day randomly you get to work and then you have no amount of money saved up to where you can survive, weeks or months on end after that layoff, because that happens to so many people where they're blindsided by layoffs, and it continues to happen every single day. And I get it. The job market, the economy is so tough right now. The cost of living is so tough right now. But at the same time, you have to, whatever it takes, even if it's not possible, try to pick up part-time jobs, pick up whatever, build an emergency fund to where you are safe. That is the biggest thing, because, I've seen it countless and countless of times where people are just going into situations and they're getting laid off, and then, they're getting evicted, or they're going homeless, or they're losing their car, or they're falling behind on bills. It sucks to see, but this is just what is happening right now within America.
Hi, how's it going? I got laid off from a job that I've been working for 3 years. Corporate job, as a site operations manager for a behavioral health company. I did a lot. I put my blood, sweat, and tears into that job, and that job was my life. I put that job before anyone else. I put that job before relationships, before my family. I gave it my all. And they threw me out like I was trash, garbaggio. And this has been truly a humbling experience. I have never not worked. I've never been unemployed before. I mean, the longest I've gone not working is probably 2 weeks, and that's because it was a vacation. It was a paid vacation, PTO. And I feel so stuck. Like, it's always been so easy for me to find a job. I can go from one job to another, and now I've never been fired before or let go. I've never been put on a PIP, a performance improvement plan, if you guys don't know what that is, or anything. I've never been in trouble. So this is like truly a humbling experience.
Absolutely. And getting laid off, right? Like, or randomly, especially when you have no issues with keeping a job or getting a job in the past. And then just to get laid off like this out of nowhere can be devastating. It can crush you, especially in a situation like this where she's saying she put so many hours, she put so much effort, so much time, so much, just work into keeping that job every single day. Like, she put in so much time into this, and now she's going to be without a job, right? I can only imagine. I got to give a shout out to the creator. Her name is Dina and Winnie, but at the same time, guys, just seeing these kind of videos, seeing people's stories, and I enjoy watching these stories, because seriously, like, I think it's very important and it's crucial. Not that I enjoy it from perspective of I want to see layoffs, but I like to bring these videos to guys to show you that, especially if you've been laid off currently within this job market, that you're not alone, right? Like, it's not just you. It's so many other people that are dealing with the same exact things, that potentially you are, or someone you may know, or also just to prepare yourself within, the system.
So if you've seen my previous post, you know that I was laid off back in September, the day that I got back from mat leave. I showed up. I was supposed to clock in at 8 a.m. I see a meeting on my calendar at 8 a.m. I go into that meeting thinking that, hey, they're just like, excited to get me back and tell me kind of what I've missed in the past 5 months. No, I go into that meeting and they let me know that, hey, we're basically laying you off. The position has been eliminated. Mind you, 3 other people that I worked alongside with are still in that position. 2 others did get laid off back in June, but the title remains the same, and meaning that the position was not eliminated, correct? Since then, since September, I have received about 6 to 7 emails. What do those emails entail? Those emails entail meetings that I should be attending. They go on my calendar. Things that I should be following up with. There's certain agendas that, have been sent to me. And, being laid off, you're already triggered. You're already in this like state of what do I do now? Like, just not knowing like where to begin again. And then you get these triggering emails, basically not knowing like, hey, am I still working for you? Or did you guys lay me off? Did you guys not relay this to the rest of the corporation? Like,
so it seems like she still has access to the emails, and her IT department should have got rid of her emails or whatever the case is. And I'm sure she's also wondering, like, okay, if my position was eliminated, why are these other people still working these positions? And we don't have, additional context in this situation, right? But at the same time, I'm sure, part of it maybe got rid of it due to AI or automation, or part of it got due to, budgeting and certain funding or whatever the case is. Like I said, we don't have the context, what kind of job she's working at. But at the same time, it just solely depends. And I got to give a shout out to the creator. Her name is Neg Z. Y'all can check out her over on TikTok. But guys, it doesn't matter which job you're in. It doesn't matter which industry. It doesn't matter what kind of role it is. It doesn't matter if you are a trash man or if you are trash. I think trash is always going to be a thing, right? I mean, you would think, unless they start to try to do automation some kind of way or whatever. I don't know. Companies, at the end of the day, if you don't get anything else from this video, companies don't care specifically about you, right? It's not about you as a person. It has nothing to do with you. It's more about how much money, cash, money, profits. How much money are you bringing in and the value that you're bringing in to the company? That is it. Regardless of if you're not bringing in money or if they can't replace you in any kind of way or whatever the case is, you're gone, right? Like if you are valuable enough, not necessarily if you're valuable enough, if you are in a position where you can't be replaced, you're good. Absolutely. And sometimes companies they have good faith. I know plenty of companies out here who are focused solely on the human interaction, and they're not looking at profit. They're looking at quality, but I've also seen on the other hand where countless of companies are looking at the dollar amount versus that quality perspective because they can boost their profitabilities. I always say, man, if you go into it with that mindset, that just do your best every single day and provide the value where it makes sense, and also keeping your door open, because the days of retiring with the company after 30 years or 3 and 4 decades or whatever case, spending your entire life at one company, those days are long gone. I'm going to be honest. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but as a whole, it doesn't happen as much as, we would like it to happen, or per se, or whatever the case is, right? But yeah, man, this is what's happening in the job market. And like I said, everybody's experience is completely different. And what I'm saying may not resonate with you. However, I think it resonates with a huge audience. And, this is what's happening from my perspective and, everybody else's perspective within America. Y'all let me know. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well for more great content like this. I will see you next video. We out. Let's go.